Hey everyone, welcome back to Record Rift, where we uncover the hidden stories of history. Today, we're diving into an often overlooked chapter of World War II, the unsung heroes who made a massive impact but don't always make the headlines. These are the people who fought with incredible bravery, resilience, and ingenuity, but whose stories are rarely told. Let's shine a light on their contributions and give them the recognition they truly deserve. Let's start with the Soviet Union's Night Witches. Sounds like a mysterious title, right? Well, it was. The 588th Night Bomber Regiment, made up entirely of women, became one of the most feared units in the air during the war. They flew in old, outdated biplanes under the cover of night, dropping bombs on German targets. These women didn't have advanced radar or heavy weaponry, just determination and a desire to help their country. They would fly as low as 100 meters, avoiding enemy fire, and had to make their bombs explode just at the right moment. The Germans feared them so much, they nicknamed them Nachthexen or Night Witches. Yet, most of these brave women remain largely forgotten in history. Their story deserves to be remembered. Now, let's talk about the brilliant minds behind breaking the infamous German Enigma code. While many of us know Alan Turing's name, there were countless others working alongside him at Britain's Bletchley Park. These unsung heroes, mathematicians, linguists, and even crossword enthusiasts, spent hours deciphering German messages, shortening the war by years and saving countless lives. One name that often gets overlooked is Joan Clark, Turing's colleague, who played a crucial role in cracking Enigma, yet her contributions are often overshadowed. Many of the men and women working in Bletchley Park were sworn to secrecy about their work for decades, but they are now finally receiving the recognition they deserve. Next, let's turn to the courageous resistance movements across Nazi-occupied Europe. While many think of the French resistance as a collective of brave fighters, it's often the individual stories that go untold. Take the example of Nancy Wake, a New Zealand-born woman who became one of the most decorated servicewomen of World War II. She was an active member of the French resistance, sabotaging German supply lines and helping Allied soldiers escape the Nazis. Despite her immense bravery, her name remained relatively obscure for years. Her story is one of many resistance fighters who risked everything for the cause of freedom. While many think of World War II's heroes as predominantly white, there were thousands of African American soldiers who fought valiantly on the front lines, despite facing segregation and discrimination back home. One notable group were the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African American military aviators. They completed more than 15,000 sorties and never lost a bomber to enemy aircraft. Yet, their heroism is often forgotten in the larger narrative of the war. These men paved the way for civil rights advancements in the U.S. and deserve recognition for their courage and determination. Another fascinating yet underappreciated chapter of World War II history is the story of the Navajo Code Talkers. These Native American soldiers used their native language, which the Japanese were unable to decipher, to transmit secret military communications during the Pacific Campaign. The U.S. military recognized their value, and the Code Talkers became a critical part of the Allied victory. However, these men weren't publicly acknowledged for their contribution until decades later, when their story finally came to light in the 1960s. As we've seen today, history is filled with unsung heroes who shaped the course of World War II. Whether they were flying under the radar, cracking codes, or fighting on the front lines, their bravery and sacrifice deserve our respect. Their stories might not be as widely known as the famous generals and political leaders, but they are just as vital to understanding the true scope of the war. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unsung heroes of World War II, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Record Rift for more untold stories from history. Let us know in the comments if there's any other historical figure you think deserves a spotlight. Until next time, keep uncovering the stories that history forgot.